Good morning, Daily Dosers. My name is Chandler Prazak. I work right here in the 11th and 12th grade ministry at the Vista campus. First thing, I just want to say, go Chargers, as we're hoping to take down the Patriots this week. So if you could just root for the Bolts, that'd be great. But the second thing is, as I was laying in bed this week, because if you can't hear my voice a little bit, I'm congested and I just don't feel very great. I've been coughing all week. And I got it because I went to a staff member, Chandler Hilkin. I went to his wedding last week. He married Megan, and they're on their honeymoon. But we were there, and then we came back, and a whole bunch of people got sick who were at that wedding. And from being at all the wedding festivities and just kind of the craziness of the holidays, I realized that I hadn't spent very much time in the Word or very much time praying or very much time with God at all. And as I was laying in bed this week, just feeling terrible, I was like, something in my body's not working right. Like my chest hurts and my sinuses are congested. My voice doesn't sound the way it really should. And what I thought about is I was going back in my head and I'm like, wait a minute, I also haven't prayed in a while. And I'm not at all saying that sickness comes from not praying. But what I am saying is that in the same way, when you're sick and you feel beaten up and your chest hurts and it's hard to sleep and something feels wrong because you've got this sickness waiting in you, I realized that this was kind of like, because of the wedding festivities and the new year and the amount of time that I didn't get to spend with Jesus, it felt like something was off spiritually. My physical health, I can tell if there's something off, that there's something wrong inside of me and that it's kind of waging war. My body's trying to kick it out. But in the same way, I spiritually, we can fall sick sometimes when we just spend time away from the Word, spend time away from pursuing our Father, and things in our life just don't seem to be up to par with what they should be. They're not functioning right. But we need to invite the Word of Christ back in. And I love that we have these daily doses that we can watch each morning, that we can invite Christ in and just say, can you come and war the sickness in me? It's this Romans 7 that Paul talks about, that there is this tension between our soul that is constantly, it's our flesh wants to do bad, but Christ is saying, no, I want you to be called to something better. And so we have this war within us, and Christ is that dose that helps us keep fighting this war. And this is what I realized. It reminded me of what Jesus' words in Matthew 9, starting in verse 10, it says, while Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, why does your teacher eat with the tax collectors and sinners? On hearing this, Jesus said, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go on and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners. And I realized that when I sit in my own righteousness, and I think that everything is fine in my life and that I don't need Jesus' help and I'm doing a good job stewarding this life on my own, it's like me, how I sound right now, and it may not seem like it, but how I feel right now, it's when people are like, you should go home and rest, or you don't look too good. And I'm like, no, really, I'm okay, I'm fine. Like, and I pretend like I'm all right. But if you've ever been sick before and people tell you like, you should go home, you should take care of that, and you're like, no, I'm healthy. That was the Pharisees, and that's us a lot of times, is people tell us that we need Jesus, and in our lives we need to wake up and act like we need Jesus. But too often we get through this life, we try and go through this life coughing and hacking up things and just spiritually being so sick. And we just go, no, I'm fine. Jesus, like, I'll come to you if, like I need a little bit more money at work, or if I'm trying to get into a college, like, Jesus, that's when I'll come and I'll pray to you. But for the day-to-day stuff, like, I'm fine. And the whole time we're coughing up and we can't breathe properly. So I invite you guys this week, as I hope to get better, and I also hope the Chargers win, that you would just join me and constantly going back to the Word, because I found myself going back to the Word and being like, my spiritual condition is much worse than my physical condition. And there's this war waging in us, and we are going to be like the Pharisees, who we are coughing and sick, and we won't even recognize it if we aren't constantly going back to Jesus. So I love the fact that you guys are already watching the Daily Dose, and we're so excited that you guys are part of this church. But would you just keep coming back to the Word, keep coming back to these services, keep coming back to the Daily Dose, whatever it is that brings you back to Christ, would you keep coming back so that He can make you better? Hope you have a great day, North Coast.